Hello friends. German New Medicine is a healing knowledge discovered by Dr. Hammer. This healing knowledge is empowering and helping us to stay away from the fear of diseases. Global GHK was founded by Dr. CJ Varghese sir in 2017 with the vision and mission to spread this healing knowledge to every human being on this globe. Every year, we mark this day through various GNM activities. Our YouTube channel, Global GHK, is a rich source of Germanic healing knowledge related to case studies, teachings, and testimonials. Since 3 years, we are using this platform to release our videos on GHK. This year also, we are sharing the videos of many speakers all over the globe to spread this healing knowledge to every human being. I kindly request all viewers to share this channel to all your loved ones and dear ones and encourage them to subscribe to the channel and educate and empower themselves. So today I have chosen the topic as Understanding Psychiatry and Emotional Numbness from GHK perspective. I am Dr. B. Archana, a practicing homeopathy doctor from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. 6 January 2026. The Global GHK Foundation turns 9. Let's celebrate it by understanding the psychiatry and emotional numbness from GHK perspective. I request all the viewers to visit our website www.globalgnm.com. So this website is full of video sharings where many speakers all over the globe has shared their GHK understanding and how they are applying it in their day-to-day life. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with your friends to learn GNM properly. You may become a part of our global GNM by joining our WhatsApp group by sending a request and furnishing your details on WhatsApp to any of these 3 numbers. So today, my topic is Understanding Psychiatry and Emotional Numbness from GHK perspective. So I will divide this topic into 2. First, we will see the understanding of psychiatry from GHK perspective. As the second part of this presentation, we will be seeing why emotional numbness is seen in some people and what is the understanding from GHK perspective. So before going into the topic proper, disclaimer, the information given in this presentation is for educational purpose only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical service. Participants shall consult their medical doctors for health reasons before using anything that is disclosed during the course of this presentation. Students shall not use any of the different information given in this presentation while writing their examinations. As I already mentioned, Dr. CJ Varghese sir is a founder of the Global GHK and today it is turning 9. So my gratitudes to Dr. CJ Varghese sir and his teacher Caroline Marcolin ma'am. So her website is the source from where I learned GNM for the past 8 years. So she is a direct disciple of Dr. Hammer. So you may also refer to her website and learn GHK. So the website is www.learninggnm.com. Tributes to Dr. Samuel Hahnemann and Dr. Hammer, Samuel Hahnemann, is the founder of homeopathy. Because of him, we are able to practice homeopathy as well as we are able to handle patients. Tributes to Dr. Hammer, who is a visionary and a revolutionist in the medical profession. He has given us the great knowledge of GHK to us. Special thanks to my guru, Dr. Praful Vijaykar sir. Dr. Praful Vijaykar sir, I must thank specially because he who introduced GNM or GHK to Indian homeopaths, and he has taken the scope of homeopathy to the sky level. So Dr. Hammer, after the discovery of 5 biological laws and GNM or GHK, extended his discoveries to psychiatric illnesses too. He found that schizophrenic constellations is a cause for psychosis, mood disorders, and behaviors. So, to understand what is the difference between all these three, let us understand about emotions. So, in psychology and neuroscience, emotions are defined as complex reaction pattern which include subjective experience, physiological response, and behavioral or expressive response. So these are all the three components of emotions. So we saw just now in the previous slide that schizophrenic constellations could result in psychosis, mood disorders, as well as in behavioral expressions. So we need to understand what is mood disorder, what is behavior, and what is psychosis. So emotions are short-lived and they are intense and happens in response to internal or external event. So emotions may change from time to time. So emotions are expressed outwardly through our behaviors and expressions. So behavior is the response to internal or external event. So, but mood is long lasting and it lacks a clear trigger. So, mood means it need not require any trigger or any event to bring it. So, psychosis or mental disorders are actual diseases. So, behavior and moods cannot be called as disorder or abnormal. So, but mental diseases or psychosis should be considered as diseases from conventional point of view, conventional medicine point of view. So, mental diseases, mood disorders, behaviors, all three can be explained from schizophrenic constellation point of view from GHK understanding. So psychosis is a bigger term for all the mental disorders. So this is not normal according to conventional medicine, but all three can be explained from GNM understanding. So now let us understand what is a schizophrenic constellation. So in GNM, a schizophrenic constellation means that a person is conflict active with two biological conflict that correspond to both brain hemispheres. So if you see right and left hemisphere of the brain and two areas of brain are showing hammer focus. Hammer focus, you may be knowing about hammer focus. If anybody is not knowing what is hammer focus, I would strongly suggest to watch my hammer focus video in this YouTube channel itself. So hammer focus or concentric ring seen on the brain relay of the affected area. So this concentric ring shows that the person is in the conflict active phase. So concentric rings and their understanding, everything is available in my YouTube video. Hammer focus is the name of the video available in this YouTube channel itself. So when a person is in conflict active phase, with two biological conflicts, and these two conflicts are on both hemispheres of the brain, the person will be showing mood disorders, behaviors, certain behaviors, and some mental disorders also. So in psychiatry, the word schizophrenia is used as a diagnostic term. So in psychiatry, the schizophrenia term is used in a different way, and in German New Medicine, it is used in different way. So schizophrenic constellation is a broader term to represent everything like mood disorder, behaviors, as well as the psychosis. So it is not the schizophrenia which is mentioned in the conventional system of medicine. There is no psychosis without an organ correlate, just as there is no organ disease without a correlation to the psyche. So Dr. Hammer says that so brain, body, and psyche are not three different entities. They are parts of a one single entity. So organ alone cannot happen without the participation of the psyche. So psyche alone cannot exist without the reflection on the organ level. So this is what is the understanding behind schizophrenic constellation. So in GNM, the psyche is regarded as an integral part of the human biology and inherently connected to the brain. This is why we speak in German New Medicine of biological conflicts rather than of psychological conflicts. So in GNM, we call the conflicts as biological conflicts. So we do not use the term psychological conflicts because it is inherently present in every human being as a result of the evolution of human species, and it is happening on the all three planes of the individual, and it is happening biologically. So the response is biological and not intellectual. So let us understand again what is a schizophrenic constellation. We know that it is the two conflict which are in the conflict active phase, and it is happening on both hemispheres of the brain. So the combination of the conflict determines whether the constellation manifestation is delusion, hallucination, or suicidal idea. So which two conflicts are happening and what is the manifestation, we will understand from GNM's understanding. The degree of mental state and constelled behaviors is proportional to the intensity of the conflict. So when the conflict intensity is more, the degree of mental state or the behavioral pattern will be directly proportional to the intensity of the two conflicts. Mental diseases and mood disorders develop like physical diseases according to the 5 biological laws. So we need to understand that mental diseases, mood disorders, behaviors, everything follow the same 5 biological laws discovered by Dr. Hammer. The role of brain in constellation. So under normal conditions, the two brain hemispheres vibrate in a balanced rhythm. When a biological conflict registers in the related brain relay, the side of the brain that receives the DHS vibrates in a different rhythm. So if one conflict is happening on the right side, the brain hemisphere starts vibrating in a different rhythm. The moment a second conflict impacts in the other brain hemisphere, the brain rhythm of both sides of the brain are out of sync. It is the altered brain rhythm of both brain hemispheres that creates an altered mental state and the constellation related symptoms and behaviors. So we understand that both hemispheres of brain are vibrating in synchronicity. So when one DHS is happening, one hemisphere of the brain will be vibrating differently. The moment the second DHS is registered in the other hemisphere, both will be out of sync and both will be in altered rhythm, and this only produces the mental state or the constellation related symptoms and behaviors in the individual. So constellation happens when two conflicts happen simultaneously or in sequence. We know that two conflicts are in active phase and on right and left side of the brain. So these two conflicts can happen simultaneously or it can happen in sequence also. The first conflict might already happen at an early age, for example, an abandonment conflict because of the loss of a grandparent, a self devaluation conflict experienced at school, or a sexual conflict due to sexual abuse. The second conflict could take place years or even decades later. It is the second conflict, for instance, that activates a constellation and the related mental behavioral changes. So, the first conflict, which has happened many years ago, if it is in the conflict active state, it is like a volcano waiting to blast, or it is like a bomb ticking to blast. Okay. The very moment the second conflict registers on the other hemisphere of the brain, this immediately activates a constellation and the related mental and behavioral changes happen in that individual. So this is the main understanding we must know. The two conflicts can happen simultaneously or it may happen in sequence also. So the two conflicts can be of same nature also. For example, two necessary conflicts, two separation conflicts, or two self-devaluation conflict can also trigger the behavioral changes in that individual. It could be a behavioral change, or it could be mood disorder, or it could be a mental disease manifestation only. So it depends upon the intensity of the conflict. So it is not like this is diseased and this is not diseased as per the conventional system. They are saying no. So this is a behavioral pattern and this is a mental disorder. So it is not so in GHK. So according to the conflict intensity, conflict active phase intensity, the person will be showing it as a behavioral pattern, or it may be reflected as a mental disease also. So one DHS has two aspects. So this could also happen. The DHS is one only, but it might be having a two aspect of it, and this may activate both hemisphere brain relays, and this may result in behavioral patterns, different behavioral patterns, or in mental disorders. So, say for example, if a cancer diagnosis is a DHS, this could trigger instantly an existence conflict and a death fright conflict, resulting in a brainstem constellation. So, if it is if a person is told that he is having a cancer and he will die in so many months, this could instantly activate two conflicts also. Two conflicts like my existence is at stake, and it could be a death fright conflict. So if these two conflicts are happening only with one DHS, but it has two aspects and it is getting registered in two hemispheres of the brain, means the person will be showing brainstem constellation behaviors. So perception and sight. If someone perceives his mother or child also as a partner, or conversely, when a partner is also perceived as one's child or mother and the conflict corresponds to paired organs such as breast, then the DHS affects simultaneously both brain hemispheres. So we all know that. So if the person is a normal hormone status person, and he is a right-handed person, means his right side will be affected by the partner and his left side will be affected by the mother and children. So, if the person is perceiving his mother or child as a partner, or if the right handed person is perceiving his partner as a child, the conflict may get registered in both hemispheres because the understanding or the perception of the person is getting varied. In such cases, both the organ, if it is a paired organ like a breast, or what to say, like eyes or ears, paired organs, means it may be affecting both the sides of the body, and it will be registered in both hemispheres of the brain. So today we will be seeing about emotional numbness. This is happening because of the cerebellum constellation. So cerebellum constellation is related to corium, skin, and breast. So breast conflict can happen with this perception and side change. Can be permanent or recurring due to tracks or conflict relapses. Tracks keep the conflict active even if the conflict has taken place and it got over. So keep the conflicts will not allow the healing to progress and keep the conflict in conflict activity always. So tracks associated with the conflict intensify the current mental state or reactivate a constellation after one of the two conflicts has been temporarily resolved. So even after the resolution of the conflict, a person may get into a mental state or behavioral pattern changes or into a constellation through some tracks also. So to understand about this conflict activity and epileptic crisis and tracks and triggers, I will request all the viewers to watch my second biological law video in our same YouTube channel itself. You will understand it in a detailed way. So now I will tell briefly for all the existing viewers and all the viewers who have been watching our videos continuously, they will understand that what is a track and what is conflict activity, etc. So while seeing this five biological law, I will tell it briefly, but as of now, I will explain that tracks can also keep the conflict active and allowing the person to go in for a instant schizophrenic constellation when the second conflict is getting registered. So we have two manifestations like what to say, like mental disorders, which are of acute nature and which are of chronic nature. So some person will be manifesting depressions and suicidal thoughts and aggressions for many years. Some person will be showing it for transient period. Now we are speaking about that acute psychotic state, that is for shorter duration of time when compared to chronic state. So a strong DHS that completes a constellation causes instantly an acute psychotic state. It takes about 2 to 3 months for the curing brain to settle. After that period, the constellation gradually stabilizes. We saw that the brain is out of sync and both the hemispheres are vibrating in different frequencies, and this is the reason for the psychiatric manifestation. So naturally, it takes 2 to 3 months only for the brain to settle by itself from this altered rhythm. This settling time knowledge is very important because so we need to allow ourselves or we need to allow that constelled person to settle down by himself. And within this 2 to 3 months, we have to protect ourselves or the person who is constelled from getting more and more DHS so that he is not getting into more schizophrenic constellations. So effect of alcohol, brain injury and brain surgery on constellation. So alcohol and drugs can change the brain rhythm. Entire brain rhythm is altered by alcohol and drugs. So if a person is already suffering from a DHS, so his one part of the brain is already in out of rhythm and it is vibrating differently. And on top of it, he is taking alcohol and he is using drugs means this will reinforce his constelled behaviors. And the effect of brain injury and brain surgery, this also alters the brain rhythm. This explains personality changes that have been observed with people who had been operated on the brain or following a brain injury. So we see many people know so who got injury on the brain or who had underwent this brain surgery show some odd behaviors or behave very unnaturally or they are not that person previously and they were showing some changes later. So this is because the brain surgery or the brain injury also alters the rhythm of the brain. So effects of stimulants and drugs and on constellation. So in constellation, a person is in double sympathicotonia. So I would suggest all the viewers to watch my second biological law video. So it will help to understand what is sympathicotonia. So sympathicotonia is flight and fright response of the body from the autonomic nervous system to make the person find a solution for his conflict. So when both the brain hemispheres are having this DHS means the person will be in a double sympathicotonic state. So any stress or any additional conflicts or stimulants like coffee, even energy drinks, drugs, medications with the sympathicotonic properties, drugs like cortisone, so morphine and all, will exaggerate the current mental condition of that person. So this knowledge helps us to avoid all the stimulants and avoid all further conflict, stress, and avoid medications, which will put us in a more bad mental state. So schizophrenic constellation follows the law of GNM. So five biological laws of GNM. We already saw that. So what does it mean? Means the schizophrenic constellation also originates from DHS or biological conflict. So this also is followed by conflict activity phase, and conflict activity, one conflict is resolved also, the part of that brain that is a brain relay that is involved in that DHS will be undergoing healing phase, and that will be reflected on the physical plane as physical manifestations. So schizophrenic constellation has a brain correlate and an organ correlate also. So this is the first biological law of German new medicine. Every so-called disease is a part of a significant biological special program of nature created to assist an organism, humans and animals alike, during unexpected stress. So this law speaks about the psyche level conflict, brain level hammer focus, and body level manifestations. So the differentiation between the psyche, the brain, and the body is purely academic. In reality, they are one. The content of the conflict determines which organ will be affected and from which area of the brain the SBS will be controlled. So stress and conflict shock are not one and the same. So conflict shock is sudden, unexpected. So let's see this slide and we will understand it in a better way. So nature of the conflict is sudden, unexpected. It can be figurative and imaginary also. It is related to the function of the organ. It happens in a split second. It happens before the appearance of the physical sign and symptom, common to all living beings, and it is happening biologically from evolutionary perspective, and it is not under our control and it cannot be stopped or prevented. So it is highly individualistic in nature and it happens on the subconscious level. Every component of the nature of conflict is explained by me in the introductory videos in our website. You may also refer that videos for better understanding. So first law speaks about the hammer focus on the brain level. So these pictures you can take a picture or you can remember it. So this helps us to understand GNM in a more scientific way. So this is a picture of the brainstem and the relay centers of the brain. So first law speaks about hammer focus, I told you. So first is the brainstem. First is the brainstem level. Second is the cerebellum level. Third is the cerebral medulla level, and the fourth is the cerebral cortex level. So every organ has a brain relay. It is like the if you switch on this switch, you will be having this light glowing. If you switch on this switch, means this fan will be running like that. Every organ has a switch or the brain relay center, which is instantly activated by the DHS or the conflict shock. And that is the reason why we are getting the physical manifestation. So second biological law I have given in detail in our YouTube channel in one video. Everybody is requested to watch that video. It is a very useful video. So you will get the intricacies in the second biological law, and it is my favorite law also. So I have never heard about the two phase of the disease anywhere. Even in homeopathy, I have not heard about it. So this law speaks about the two phase of the disease. So one is the conflict active phase and another one is the healing phase. So which is the conflict active phase and which is the healing phase, and which organ will undergo cell proliferation during conflict activity, which organ will undergo cell multiplication during healing phase, and which organ will undergo cell destruction during healing phase and conflict active phase. Everything is given in detail through this second biological law and third biological law. So first is the conflict active phase. As soon as a conflict or the DHS is registered on the brain level, so the person will be in conflict active phase, and it is called as a cold phase. So once the conflict is resolved, the person will go automatically into a healing phase, which is called as a warm phase. So this is the phase when we get physical level manifestations. Sadly or unfortunately, during this phase only, we go to a doctor and we tend to stop or erase or to hinder the healing phase and make ourselves in a chronic state of that organ level problem. Medicine calls this entire phase, that is the conflict active phase, conflictolysis, and the healing phase, as SBS, significant biological special program. So it has a purpose to serve. So when you see this example I usually give to my audience. So when you see a plant which is not having a tree, which is not having leaf, we say that it is completely gone or dead or it is diseased. But it has a purpose to serve. So when the water scarcity or when the weather is very hot, the trees shed the leaves in order to conserve that water, in order to survive, in order to maintain the existence. Likewise, all the physical diseases or the signs and symptoms happening on the body level has a meaning, which is to preserve that organ or the individual as a whole. So that is the reason why this disease, the so-called diseases, are termed as significant biological special program with a biological purpose attached to it in German new medicine. So this is not only applicable for the physical diseases, this is applicable for all the mental diseases also. So mental diseases are not abnormalities, but instead innate survival strategies that are activated from the conflict related brain relays the moment a constellation is established. So why these behaviors are happening on the physical plane means it is to save the individual, to protect him from losing his life or losing his organ, or from any disaster for that matter. So a person dealing with the only one conflict is already in a changed mental state. So a person who is suffering from physical disease itself is in a changed mental state only, because he is constantly in a conflict active state. Uh, he is constantly dwelling on that conflict, and so he is in a altered mental state only, but still he is able to maintain his sanity. So he is able to maintain his sanity. He will be doing his routine works even if that conflict is active. But when the moment the second conflict is registered on the other hemisphere of the brain, the person starts showing mental behaviors or disordered state, disordered thoughts, disordered behaviors and all. A mentally overload with more conflicts, however, generates seemingly disordered thoughts and behaviors that in reality allow the individual to better cope with the two coinciding conflicts. So this crazy behaviors or the disordered behaviors and thoughts are helping him to come out of that conflict only. So they are not coming to destroy him. They are helping him biologically so that the individual is restored soon by the nature. The alterations on the related organ offers additional support on the physical level. So we know that body and mind are not different entities; they are one and the same. So they reflect each other. So the bodily physical manifestations are also helping him to cope up with the conflict he is encountered with. So conflict resolution and downgrading of conflict. Once one of the two conflict is resolved, the person is no longer in constellation and subsequently the mental state and behavior return to normal. So we know that when the person's both brain hemispheres are affected with two conflict shocks at the same time means he will be showing mental behaviors. So once one conflict is resolved, the person is no longer showing mental state or behavioral abnormalities because now he is with only one conflict activity, and this will be reflecting on the this will not be reflecting on the physical plane, but this conflict which is resolved will be reflecting on the physical plane as healing symptom of that organ. So that is what is said in this slide also. At that point, the corresponding organ also goes into healing. So the moment the one conflict is resolved, the person will be showing healing symptoms on that corresponding organ. But the person will be having physical manifestations, but he is coming out of that panic state or depression or suicidal thoughts, and he will be showing physical plane symptoms. At this point of time also, we take him to the doctor, and the doctor who is not having the knowledge of German new medicine and who is not taking care of your psyche holistically, who is not treating you, will be giving medicines for this healing symptom, and he will be putting him back into the conflict active state, and he will again show mental altered states and behavioral changes. And so intense healing and epileptic crisis in constellation. So this is a caution slide actually. So when the conflict activity is more, the what to say, the resolution or the epileptic crisis will also be equally proportion to the conflict activity. If the person had a very intense conflict means he will be showing serious complications on the physical plane when the resolution is happening on with one conflict. So this you all must be knowing about this epileptic crisis. If not, it is explained in the second biological law video. So epileptic crisis is nothing but the height of the healing phase. During this phase, the person may be showing recurring mental symptoms of a stronger degree. So this understanding also helps us to handle the person. Even if we are the constelled person, we must be in a better position to handle ourselves. So the need to downgrade your conflict. So when the constellations are very severe, Dr. Hammer strongly advises that the conflict should not be resolved but rather downgraded. So it is not advisable to resolve the conflict completely if the conflict is of a very severe degree or intensity. So it is better to downgrade the conflict. The objective is to transform a hyper constellation into a hypo constellation. The main reason for this approach is to prevent complications that potentially arise during healing phase as well as during the epileptic crisis. So points to be noted in second biological law. So certain organs and so certain tissues will undergo cell proliferation during conflict activity, and once the conflict is resolved, they will undergo cell necrosis. So certain organs and certain tissues undergo cell necrosis during conflict activity, and on conflict resolution or downgrading of conflict, it will undergo cell proliferation. So this is what is the understanding from second biological law. So ontogenesis, the third biological law gives us the understanding about which organ will undergo cell proliferation during conflict active phase and which organ will undergo cell proliferation during healing phase. So this comes from the knowledge of embryology. So Dr. Hammer has given a very concrete science that endoderm derivatives, ectoderm derivatives, mesoderm derivatives, which will undergo cell proliferation during conflict active phase and which will undergo cell multiplication and cell loss during conflict and healing phase and all, he has given in this third law. So I'm not going to detail the third law in this video. So our purpose of this presentation is understanding psychiatry as well as emotional conflict, emotional numbness. So I will not be detailing this third law, but I can brief them. So fourth biological law is the ontogenetic system of microbes. So in German New Medicine, we understand that microorganisms are not the cause of the disease. They are not coming to kill us, but they are helping the healing process to get completed. So microbes do not cause disease. Instead, they play a vital role during the healing phase. The conflict active is happening with cell proliferation means without the help of microorganisms, the extra cells cannot be removed from the cells of the body. And if cell destruction is happening in that organ means during conflict active phase that cell replenishment cannot happen without the help of the microorganism. This is the understanding we get from the fourth biological law, and this allows us to understand that diseases are not contagious and killing of microorganisms will not what to say help us to complete the healing process. Instead, it will hinder the healing process and make us a permanent patient. So this is my compilation of third and fourth biological law. So this will help you to understand it. So brainstem relay organs are derived from endoderm and they undergo cell proliferation during conflict active phase, and they will be undergoing cell loss during healing phase, and this is assisted by the microbes, mycobacteria, TB bacteria and fungus. So like this concrete what to say map is given by Dr. Hammer, and this is a evidence for the scientificity of this science. So fifth biological law is nothing but the quintessence of all the biological laws of German New Medicine. Every so-called disease is a part of a significant biological special program of nature created to assist an organism during unexpected distress. So after he discovered the five biological law, he progressed and he found this schizophrenic constellation. So after finding the schizophrenic constellation, Dr. Hammer has given this wonderful statement. So when I discovered the first biological law of the new medicine, I thought in my enthusiasm that one has to resolve all conflicts as quickly as possible so that the healing is getting progressed automatically. But later, after he found this schizophrenic constellation, he came to know, today I know that this was a mistake. There are conflicts we have to take with us into the grave so that we can live longer. So this is a very wonderful statement given by Dr. Hammer after he found this schizophrenic constellation. So we all must know when a conflict should be resolved and when a conflict should be downgraded. So now let's try to understand about this emotional numbness from GHK perspective. So this is the main topic of the day. So we have come to the second part of my presentation. So understanding the emotions. So this slide we have seen already. So in psychology and neuroscience, emotions are defined as the complex reaction pattern with subjective feeling, physiological response and behavior or expressive response. There are three types of emotions. One is the basic emotion. So second is the complex emotion. Third is the secondary emotion. Basic emotions are six in type, and they are happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, and surprise. So we see in many conflict about this fear, disgust, anger, grief. So all these things we see in GNM conflict also. So though the conflicts are unexpected, sudden, they have an emotional conflict. That is why we say that it is emotionally distressing also. So emotions are attached with the DHS. So complex emotions or combination of basic emotions influenced by cultural and personal background. Say for example, guilt, shame, pride, jealousy, and all. So these are all combinations of the basic six basic emotions. They are so secondary emotions. Complex emotions means two things clubbing together. So secondary emotions means one is happening and another one is happening as a sequence. So emotional reaction to a primary emotion. So I felt shame because I felt angry. So I was showing or expressing my anger in such a way that later I felt very ashamed for my behavior. So this is the secondary emotion. So, biological or evolutionary understanding about the emotions. Fear evolved to protect us from danger. Love and affection are evolved to promote social bonding and reproduction. So, this biological or evolutionary purpose of the emotion is the basic purpose of what to say, the expressions on the physical plane also. Physical plane or on the psychiatric plane also. So every emotion has a purpose, and this purpose is explained through GNM. So amygdala in the brain processes the emotions, particularly fear and threat deduction. So we understand from GNM that brain has a major role in producing both the physical as well as the mental manifestations. So cognitive appraisal, this is a very beautiful thing about emotions. So our thoughts about a situation determine our emotion. So one situation is happening means so how we perceive that situation only produces the internal feeling, and that is what is shown externally as a behavior pattern. The meaning you assign to the prompting event is often what fuels the emotions, as your brain is trying to make sense out of what is happening in a short time. Uh, what beautifully is explained in GNM also is so DHS can be real or it could be figurative and imaginary also. That is what is the nature of the DHS is explained in GNM. So whatever emotional or whatever situation is happening, how do we perceive it only makes it potential enough to produce any physical or mental diseases. So this cognitive appraisal is explained through a example. If a friend is not responding to your message on a WhatsApp or not responding to your phone call means, if we think that that person is very busy and we ignore and we go, we will wait for his response. But if we think that he is ignoring me, he is not giving me the importance means, it hurts and we feel dissociated or we feel indifferent from that person. So this is the cognitive appraisal of emotion. So happening is one and only thing only. So the friend is not responding to you, so we may think that he is busy and we may think that he is avoiding you, he is ignoring you, he is not having the love for you and all. And the both things will have two different effect on us, and we will be reflecting the same on the uh, expressions also. So let us understand the components of emotions. So emotions are nothing but the tools for social interaction. So emotions act as an internal GPS also. So the three components involved in the emotions are subjective expression, physiological response, and behavioral response. So subjective response is the internal feeling you have. That is the feeling. So it is a state which is experienced by the patient as I am angry, I am happy, I am scared. So it is an internal feeling. So emotions are universal, but intensity and experience varies from person to person. So physiological response is a bodily reaction that is happening because of that emotion. So this comes from the autonomic nervous system, and when you're afraid of something, you're anxious, means your heartbeat will be raised and you will be having intense sweating. You will have a weird feeling in the stomach and all. No, these are all the physical experiences because of the emotion we are feeling inside. So this is also beautifully explained in the second biological law, in the conflict active phase and all. So behavioral response is the expression, outward expression of the emotion. So when you are happy, you will be showing that emotion. So when you are angry, you may be showing it outwardly by shouting or throwing things or crying or this varies from person to person. Angry person need not throw the things. A sad person can also throw a thing. So angry person need not be all the time shouting only. So he can be expressing himself as a crying and withdrawing himself also. So these are all very individualistic in nature, and this outward manifestation is the tool for communicating, and close circle people will be understanding that your expression of this emotion will be like this only. So otherwise, unless and until you explain to the therapist or to the doctor, it will not be understood during a consultation or during a therapy, I mean to say. So this is the outward manifestation of the emotion. So you cry, shout, or withdraw yourself, or you smile because of that emotion. So emotions act as an internal GPS. So what is emotional numbness then? So emotional numbness means that subjective feeling is either not there or the outward expression is not there. Okay, so emotional numbness means either the person is not feeling that emotion only, or he is not expressing it outwardly. The purpose of emotion is to perceive the situation, feel it internally, and express it outwardly. These things are happening to take action about that event, or to communicate what he is feeling, or to make decisions. But during emotional numbness, all these things are missing. So now we know that all psychosis, mood disorders, and behaviors are caused by schizophrenic constellation. So schizophrenic constellation is nothing but two conflict active activity happening on both hemispheres of the brain simultaneously. So emotional numbness is caused by cerebellum constellation on the psyche level. That is, two DHS are happening on the cerebellum level on both hemispheres of the brain. The two biological conflicts involved could be attack conflict, nest worry conflict, argument conflict, or any of the combination of the conflicts. Say, for example, if a person is having a attack conflict which is registered on the right brain of the cerebellum, right hemisphere of the cerebellum, and left hemisphere of the cerebellum, he will be showing the emotional numbness as the psychiatric manifestations. So attack conflict corresponds to the corium skin, pleura, peritoneum, and pericardium. Nest worry or argument conflicts to the breast glands. So why I have taken this as the topic for my day is, so we see lots and lots of people complaining that this person is not responding to my emotions. Even if I am sad, he is not coming and asking me why I am sad. Even if I am angry, he is not asking me why I am angry and all. So nowadays we see lots and lots of reels on Instagram, and lots and lots of content on the social media speaking about emotional numbness and non-reactive partners on, or what to say, that other person who is not taking our emotions into consideration. So we may get lots and lots of knowledge through GNM in our social media, but the right knowledge comes from GHK only. So it is very vital to understand why a person is emotionally numb, and what is the reason for his emotional numbness, and what could be done best to bring him out of this constelled state. So emotional numbness comes out of cerebellum constellation, and the main conflicts involved in this constellation are attack conflicts, nest worry conflicts, and argument conflicts. So repeated or repeated attacks and repeated arguments and nest worry conflicts in the family will allow the person instantly go into an emotional numbness state. So this is the reason. So this is on the brain and organ level. So the brain and tissues of the left side of the body are controlled from the right side of the cerebellum. The organs and tissues of the right side of the body are controlled from the left side of the cerebellum. So organ level, that crossover correlation is seen on the cerebellum level. So this is the reason why Dr. Hammer says that no psychosis can happen without any organ correlate, and no organ disease can happen without a psyche level DHS. So what is a physical manifestation, or how the person with the cerebellum constellation will be showing or presenting with the emotional state means the cerebellum constellation person will manifest as emotionally numb person. So people in this constellation feel void inside and emotionally disconnected from others. So I told so emotions are the only way of communicating with the other person. So only if we show or express ourselves, the other person will understand that what this person is undergoing. That emotional disconnect will be there, and he feels a void inside, and he does not even feel that emotion internally. They are incapable of emotions such as compassion or empathy, and lack sympathy and concern. So this is a reason why the person around the a cerebellum constelled person will be feeling that they are not taken care of, they are not loved, and they are not connected with this person, because they lack that a emotion of sympathy and empathy and compassion and all. They will not show any sympathy or empathy or compassion for the people around. This is because they are in the constelled state. So this looks as if the person is very insensitive, heartless, and uncaring. But the understanding from GHK is that he is active with two attack conflict or two conflicts on the cerebellum. The emotional withdrawal should not be mixed up with the depression. So this is not the same as the depression. So emotional numbness is entirely different from depression. Depression comes out from the temporal lobe constellation, which is a very detailed and huge topic. We cannot explain it in this presentation. So we will be speaking about this emotional numbness. So emotional withdrawal or emotional numbness is happening through cerebellum constellation. So the purpose of the constellation, I told you already. So every physical level manifestation has a purpose, and cerebral constellation or the mental disorders also has a reason, biological reason to serve. The purpose of the constellation is to shield the individual from further attacks and allow the person to retreat into a state of unfeelingness. So the person is constantly under attack, and he wants to protect himself from further attacks. This is the reason why nature has provided him with that emotional numbness or that unfeelingness, so that he is not or his psyche is not taking further attacks. So the emotional numbness of a person is due to attacks, and this has a purpose to serve. So in order to prevent complete exhaustion, so nature has a reason for this emotional numbness. So this emotional numbness allows him not to receive further attacks. So it is an innate self-protection controlled from the cerebellum and activated by the constellation. So this is an innate self-protection from our own biological wisdom. So we already saw in the introduction or the first part of the video about the psychiatric this thing understanding from GHK perspective. The same is repeated in this slide also, with the understanding about the cerebellum constellation, a person's biological handedness, and whether the conflicts are mother or child or partner related determines on which side of the cerebellum the constellation the conflicts are registered. The constellation is established the moment the second conflict impacts in the opposite brain hemisphere. The conflicts could also occur simultaneously. We already saw all these things. That is why I'm reading them. So, two conflicts. So, one is established, one is already in active state, and the moment the second conflict registers on the opposite side of the brain hemisphere, the person instantly shows emotional numbness. So the conflicts could happen simultaneously or in sequence also. The perception of the individual and his understanding about that opposite person can also change the side, and this may register in both the hemispheres. This also we already saw. The constellation can be permanent or recurring due to tracks or conflict relapses. So this can be permanent, and it can be relapsing due to tracks also. So some people by birth or inbuilt, they will be emotionally numb. They will not be reacting so instantly to any external stimuli or internal stimuli also. We see such personalities also in our societies, no? So in homeopathy it is very beautifully explained. So we have this uh, indifferent medicines like sepia, phosphoric acid and all. So they are inbuilt, they are emotionally apathetic and indifferent persons. So this could be explained from GHK perspective very beautifully. So this constellation can be permanent or it could be recurring. Permanent means we see it as a personality trait only. So if it is recurring means it could be because of the trait tracks, and it could be because of further conflict relapses also. Setting on a conflict track or experiencing a conflict relapse after one of the two conflict has been resolved causes an instant mood change, and from one moment to another the person becomes cold and distant. So setting on a track or again a conflict is happening means the person will instantly again become cold and distant. The trigger could be a certain situation, certain person, or a certain subject also. So instantly the situation, person, or a subject could instantly activate that argument conflict or the attack conflict. A concurrent aggressive constellation can prompt sudden violent behaviors that are carried out without any feelings of guilt or remorse. So, persons who are called as criminals or aggressive things or socially not acceptable things without any remorse or regrets might be having this aggressive constellation and this cerebellum constellation together. So, with this quote of Dr. Hammer, I will end my presentation. I want to guide you to an understanding of diseases free of fear and panic. So, the sole aim of Dr. Hammer to find this healing knowledge is to keep ourselves informed about the disease processes that is happening in our body, which is taking place from our subconscious level, and helping us to stay strong and help us to handle the healing phase properly and help us to resolve our conflicts or to downgrade our conflicts so that healing is happening uh, in a lesser intensity form and we are not afraid of disease anymore. Thank you, one and all.